Intrinsic. Some intrinsic properties of the substance. None of such rights or obligations have any intrinsic priority against the others. Rundown. Intrinsic. Destitution. Grandmother's family all their lives had no money and she also died in destitution several years ago. Destitution made them go to this hard work. Rundown. Intrinsic. Draft beer. I don't drink draft beer. Beck's introduced its draft beer for a trial period, but it was not a great success. Destitution. Destitution. Rundown. Rundown. Jaunt. He went out to take a jaunt and walk through the city. A Sunday jaunt in the park. Succinctly. One word rather succinctly describes the economy's performance: unbalanced. Please state your case as succinctly as possible. Draft beer. Draft beer. Destitution. Constrain. Agricultural development is considerably constrained by climate. However, innovation for years to come will be severely constrained by the space and premises. Jaunt. Succinctly. Draft beer. Draft beer. Widow. Constrain. Constrain. Jaunt. Succinctly. Succinctly. Be laid off. I was laid off without any explanation. A lot of miners were laid off, which spiked protests. Constrain. Constrain. Party. The contract can be terminated by either party with 3 months' notice. The judge's decision satisfied most of the parties concerned. Inundate. The overflowing river inundates low-lying areas of the village every spring. The heavy rain since last week has caused flooding in many parts of the city, inundating hundreds of buildings. Be laid off. Be laid off. Impeccable. You have been blessed with many gifts, one of which is having an impeccable father. Her logical process is impeccable. Party. Party. Inundate. Be laid off. Be laid off. Scarcely. We had scarcely closed the window before lightning hit the house. She had scarcely rung the bell when the door flew open. Impeccable. Impeccable. Party. Inundate. Inundate. Subordinate. 1 or 2 subordinate questions arose during our discussions. He handed the case down to one of his subordinate officers. Scarcely. Impeccable. Contraction. Cold causes contraction of the metal. The sudden contraction of the markets left them with a lot of unwanted stock. Impeccable. Impeccable. Palatial. Impeccable. Scarcely. Scarcely. Head-on. I am a reporter though, and I can report that there are some real educators out there who have tried to address this question head-on. Contraction. Palatial. Footwear. You'll need some tough footwear to go walking up mountains. Be sure to wear the correct footwear to prevent injuries to your feet. Head-on. Contraction. Palatial. Headgear. A protective headgear. When riding a motorcycle you should wear the proper headgear. Palatial. Palatial. Footwear. Footwear. Head-on. Head-on. Beanie. His suits were put into storage and on went the beanie hats and jeans. They were all wearing hats from trucker hats to baseball caps to beanies. Headgear. 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 Footwear. Footwear. Prorogue. We've had to prorogue going to France because the children are ill. They decided to prorogue their holiday until next year. Beanie. Headgear. 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 Gross. Prorogue. Beanie. Beanie. Headgear. Headgear. First rate. People who used his service knew they were dealing with a first-rate professional. All equipment is of first-rate quality. Gross. Gross. Prorogue. Prorogue. Indispensable. An indispensable worker. An indispensable tool/guide. Bum. Gee, I sure wouldn't want to be the intern responsible for that bum tip. There are a few bum notes in this collection though. First rate. First rate. Gross. Lace. Clothes decorated with lace is popular this season. Indispensable. Indispensable. Bum. Bum. First rate. Rule. Lace. Indispensable. Indispensable. Bum. Remember.